Hi guys, today I'm going to be bringing you some film fiction reading, The Elements of Gaming, Gears of War, Chapter 1. Elements of Gaming, Chapter 1. So, this one is going to be about the elements of harmony, pretty much just gaming, you know? So let's just kick this off. My dearest, most faithful student, it pleases me to hear that you and your friends are having such a wonderful time with the University of Electrical Engineering's newest invention and learning many great lessons about friendship along the way. As such, I have deemed fit to send you any and all of the school's prototypes once they have finished what the development teams call beta testing. Think of it as privileged access to both the console and copies before they are released to the equestrian public. I am enclosing their next finished project with this letter for your friends per usual. If the box art is anything to go by, it seems quite similar to the previous one that you had been sent alongside the Xbox 360. I do believe your friends Rainbow Dash and Applejack in particular will enjoy this one. Do send them my warmest regards, your mentor, Princess Celestia. Twilight looked up from the letter she was reading to the other box that she was holding in her hoof, raising an eyebrow. Well, this does look pretty grim, said the purple unicorn with a hint of skepticism. Giving Spike a sidelong glance, I don't see why Dash or Applejack wouldn't enjoy this. Not scrolling down. Next to her, her number one assistant had his eyes deeply rooted to the box. He seemed more than a little intrigued as he stroked his chin rather thoughtfully at the image of 4 huge armored stallions adorning the front cover. Armed to the teeth, rippling with muscles. And was that one in the front carrying a chainsaw or a gun? Gears of War, huh? The young dragon remarked, biting back a snicker. If that doesn't scream flank kicking awesome, I don't know what does. How much do you want to bet Rainbow Dash and Applejack will be all over this like Pinky on cupcakes? Real smooth, Spike. Drawled Twilight, her voice literally oozing with sarcasm at every word. Regardless, she smiled it off and prompted him to hop on. Come on, my number one assistant. We've got a game to play. A hop, skip, and a jump later, Spike was on Twilight's back as the duo headed to their destination, the rolling orchards of Sweet Apple Acres. What are you doing?
Did Dad say you can take this in your room?
He didn't seem to bother when I walked by.
Probably because he didn't know.
He was looking right at me. Aiden, don't you dare.
I'm not gonna tell him. Wanna play a board game with me?
No, I'm actually busy doing a video. Gears of War, said Applejack, reading the title off the box. Her eyebrow gave an arc, but came up short at hiding the anticipatory glimmer twinkling in her eyes. Somehow she couldn't just stop staring at the stallions adorning the box's cover. Man, them engineers over at that fancy university got some imagination, don't they, Twi? As a graduate of the Cantor University for Magical Arts, Twilight had quite a number of run-ins with the undergraduates of the University of Electrical Engineering. Calling them eccentric would be like saying Fluttershy was louder than Photo Finish by a mile. Well, you could say they're a very inspired bunch of ponies, she replied, shrugging her shoulders and giving Applejack rather a sheepish grin that looked like it was plastered on. Applejack raised an eyebrow at Twilight's reaction, but ultimately decided that prodding the issue any further might not be the best course of action. So, who's joining us for this here testing session, Twilight? Well, I invited Rarity and Fluttershy, but apparently Rarity has a massive order to fill for hoity-toities that's due at the Canterlot Fashion Expo tomorrow afternoon. Fluttershy can't come either because apparently she's babysitting Opalescence to keep Rarity's outfit scratch-free. And the rest? Rainbow's taking off on the weather patrol today, so she'll definitely be joining us to play. Pinkie Pie was supposed to fill an order of sweet and sour cupcakes, but since it's not urgent, Mr. and Mrs. Cake decided to give her the day off to join us. Applejack was, to say the least, skeptical. Pinkie Pie, you sure about her, Twilight? I mean, she's don't quite look like the type that might take too nice to this sort of game. I never turn away a friend who's offered to help, Applejack. She's welcome to leave anytime she feels uncomfortable, though. Well, if you say so. But I won't say I told you so if I have to say I told you so, Sugar Q. Before Twilight could utter a word in response, a rainbow-colored streak soared down from the clouds above, impacting the ground between the two ponies with the force of a tiny explosion and kicking up a sizable dust cloud. Coughing as she waved aside the offending dirt, Twilight squinted through the dust cloud to find Rainbow Dash mounted atop Applejack in a rather awkward position. Oops! Rainbow Dash giggled sheepishly as she shot to her feet quicker than a speeding bullet, leaving a slightly battered Applejack to pick herself up off of the dirt. Excuse me, Applejack. Darn it, Rainbow. Ain't you had enough of dropping in on ponies like that? Yelled a visibly annoyed Applejack. Oh, come on, Applejack. What's the point of... And the computer has just stopped for some reason, and it's restarting. I will be back after a short break.